Greetings, viewers or learners. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Bramajame Most West. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. If you have any question, you can also drop it in the comment section. Let's go. Mathematics Olympiad mathematics tricks on linear inequalities. I see. Write down the following or the inequality represented on the number line below. These are the number line drawn or illustrated. We are asked to write down the inequality that is represented on the number line drawn. Interesting. Now, let me show you a trick on how to solve this kind of questions. Remember, this is a circular ring. I see. This is the variable that is used. I see. These are all set of integers. Now, to write down the inequality that is represented on the first diagram, which is A, just check on the ring. The ring falls under what? It falls under -2. I see. But the variable that is used is x. So bring the variable first. That is x. I see. Now, the circular ring falls under -2. I see. Also, if you can check the arrow very well, the arrow is pointing this side. I see. So when you see an arrow pointing this side, I see, obviously the symbol or the inequality symbol is represented is always in this format. I see. So absolutely it's either going to be greater than or equals to, or less than or greater than. I see. Is either going to be greater than or equals to, or a mere greater than, because of what the arrow is pointing this way. I see. It can be greater than or equals to. I see. The arrow is pointing this way. So the inequality symbols can be either in this format, either greater than or equals to. Now, let's observe. The circular ring is not shaded. I see. If it is shaded, obviously it's going to be greater than or equals to. But here it is not shaded. So obviously we are going to use this. I see. So now it's going to be x greater than, I see, the arrow is pointing this side. Now, the circular ring falls under what? -2. So it's going to be -2. So this is the inequality that is represented on the number line. I see. This is very simple. First thing I told you, write the variable first. That is x. If it is y, you write y. I see. Now again, you check the arrow, where the arrow is facing. The arrow is facing this way. I see. So obviously it can be either greater than or equals. Greater than or equals. I see. Now, to know whether it should be greater than or equals to, check whether the ring is shaded or not. If it is shaded, it's going to be greater than or equals to. But if it's not shaded, it's going to be a mere greater than. I don't know where I'm communicating. Now, this ring is not shaded, so absolutely it's going to be a mere greater than. I see. Now, you check where the ring falls on. I see. Obviously this ring is drawn on top of what? Is drawn above negative integer, which is what? -2. So it's going to be x greater than -2 is the inequality that is represented. Now again, we move to the other inequality now. Letter B now. The same trick. First, identify the variable that is used. Here we use x, but here we are using y. So it's going to be y. I see. Now again, you check where the arrow is facing. The arrow, this time around, the arrow is facing this way. I see. So it can be less than, or equals to. I see. It can either be less than or equals to. I see. Now you check. Now let's check. It can only be less than if the ring is not shaded. But if the ring is shaded, obviously it's going to be what? Less than or equals. Here the ring is shaded. I see. It's going to be what? Less than or equals. So it's going to be less than or equals. Remember, the arrow is facing this way. Now again, you check where the ring is drawn on. What integer does the ring drawn on? I see. Or where did the ring is drawn on? So here, obviously, this ring here falls under what? It falls on the positive integer, which is 3. So it's going to be x less than or equals to 3. That means all these values, negative values, negative integers are all what? Less than what? 3, including positive 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3 itself. I see. So this is how we represent this inequality from an illustrated number line. Now let's move to the last one now. Let us see. This time around, the variable that is used is a. And again, the first ring is not shaded, while the second ring is shaded. I see. The first ring is shaded, while the second ring is not shaded. Now, look at here. First ring that is not shaded, I see, this is not shaded, is either going to be less than or greater than. But when you see this type of questions, two rings drawn on a number line, always use the less than. Always. I see. Yes. It can either be less than or greater than. Or less than or equals. Sorry. It can either be less than or equals. Always use those symbols. So here we bring down this 3. This ring is falls under what? It falls under negative 3. We write it first. I see. So the other ring here falls under positive 3. You can see negative 3 and positive 3. Now, the first ring here is not shaded, so it's going to be less than. I see. Always use less than or equal. So when you see this type of question, two rings drawn on a number line. Now, you bring the variable, which is a. I see. Again, this other ring, which falls under positive 3, it is shaded. So it's going to be less than or equals to. Less than or equals to. I see. So now this is the inequality that is represented on the number line. First, identify where the two rings where they fall on. I see. The first ring falls on the negative 3, while the second one falls on the positive 3. I see. Now you write negative 3, positive 3. I see. Now the first ring is not shaded. I see. So I told you, when you see this kind of question, always the inequality symbols can only be either less than or equals to. I see. Not greater than or equals to, but only less than or equals to. I see. Now this is not shaded. It's going to be a mere less than. This one is shaded. It's going to be less than or equals to. I see. Make sure the variable should be in between the inequality symbols. I see. Now this is the inequality that is represented on the number line. Now complete this one. You can now solve this. You can drop it in the comment section now. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Have a blessed night.